Welcome to Mind and Movement, getting smart about how you move. I'm Hazel. Thank you so much for joining me for Coffee and Move number 42. It's Sunday. I've been out walking a lot today, and one of the things I've been thinking about while I've been walking is my lymph flow, and one of the reasons I walk a lot is because we need to walk so that a lot of our biological functions can actually take place. So things that keep ourselves alive require the movement of our tissues for them to be able to carry out their functions. And one of those things is the flow of lymph. We don't have a pump in our body for pumping lymph like we have a pump for pumping blood. And in saying that, you should know that it's the movement of your muscles that is also dictating the flow of blood in your body. So the movement of your muscles also pumps blood around your body, but it is fully responsible for pumping lymph around your body, the movement of your muscles, that is. And we have a lot of lymph nodes in areas that can potentially move a lot. So in our armpit, in our neck, in our rib cage around here, this is where a lot of lymph comes back and is funneled back into the cardiovascular or the blood system. In our groin, armpit. But in Western culture, these tend to be areas that we have lost a lot of movement in. And for you to get full lymph drainage, you have to take these areas through their full range of motion on a daily basis. That's how we get to be well aligned, is not by holding ourselves in a rigid position, but by taking our joints through their full range of motion every day. Now, if you have lost some of your parts' full range, you want to slowly but surely work towards getting that range back, which is what I'm doing. And one of the areas that I really struggle with range of motion is through my groin. So I spend a lot of time in the V-sit because, one, it is getting more movement into my hips, which means that my pelvic floor muscles are being used more. It means that my glutes are being used more, my hamstrings, all of these muscles that I have neglected in the past. But it also means that there is more potential for flow, because as I unstick the tissue that's been stuck because I haven't moved well in this area for a really long time, then I can potentially really boost the health of my system, and specifically my lymph system, or lymphatic system, which is part of my immune system. We have broken the body down into all of these various systems, and as an exercise physiologist, we study, like the cardiovascular system, then we study the central nervous system, then we study the lymphatic system, but all of those systems depend on the function of each other. So really we're just one system, and the movement of my muscles, which we may consider part of my kind of anatomy system, part of my musculoskeletal system, is really important for my immune system function, right? So when I say these movements are really, really important for our biological function, that's what I mean. It doesn't just mean you get to look a certain way or lose weight. That's what most of us think about when we think about exercise. I'm not talking about exercise, I'm talking about movement and how certain parts of your body need to move in certain ways for you to have the best biological function that you can possibly have. You really need to move through the groin, is my point there. So we've been sitting in the V-sit for about 4 minutes, and now we're going to do some movement for our neck. But the great thing about it is that we can do both at the same time. So we're going to externally rotate the humerus bone here, which means that we are using the rotator cuff muscles to externally rotate there. Then we're going to reach away, keeping my chin in. I'm just going to drop my head away. So here I am. After a big walk where I've got lots of lymph flow, awesome, I'm now encouraging more lymph flow to happen by getting more space in these tissues in my neck. This is also helping through my armpit a little bit, but I'm helping my lymph flow through here. So I'll just hold this one for a second. Oh yeah, let's jump onto the other side. So first of all, externally rotating, using the back of my rotator cuff there. So we're using not subscap, infra and supraspinatus and other things in the back there. We're dropping that head away to the side, keeping the chin in, and then you can reach that arm out. One of the other really key parts of you that must move for lymph flow is your rib cage must move, and that means your thoracic spine must move. All those individual ribs that come off the thoracic spine must move, which means that your intercostals, all of these muscles in between our rib cage must move. And a lot of us, because we don't do much movement, only have one way of breathing, which is up here into the chest, and we want to move in a huge variety of ways to encourage a huge variety of different movement patterns, which encourages a huge amount of different loads and different movements into the rib cage. So I'm an exercise physiologist, but one of my favourite teachers at the moment is Katie Bowman, who's a biomechanist, and I love contrasting the way that an exercise physiologist versus a biomechanist views these systems, and she has helped me understand the body so much more. I feel like understanding the physiology and the biomechanical systems really has made me a much better practitioner. So hooray for Katie, but also hooray for us moving our body. So we've done some for the groin, let's now do some for the rib cage. So let's put our hands on our ribs here, and then we're going to just take a few breaths. I'm gently pushing into my rib cage so that I can push out and use my intercostal muscles to move my rib cage. So I'm going to breathe in and out through my nose. My shoulders aren't up here, my shoulders are relaxed. So let's do some breathing and just encourage those muscles in the rib cage to work a little bit more than they normally do. Really work on that exhale. Get all the air out. Okay, so let's continue to do the same thing, but in a spinal twist. So a spinal twist requires me to use my abdominal muscles, other muscles, so therefore I'm going to breathe differently. So a variety of breath, we're bringing in a variety of movements, we're bringing into the rib cage and whatnot. So you can keep your hands here, do that rotation. Awesome. I can really feel a couple of ribs moving much better than normal, which is great. Okay, other way. Let's get back into doing the arm ones. So as an exercise physiologist, we talk a lot about VO2 max, which is the max amount of oxygen that you can deliver to your tissues while you are exercising intensely. And we use that as the kind of the baseline of how fit you are. But one thing that I now think a lot about is that if your rib cage, if your area, your thoracic spine, your ribs, your lungs, your diaphragm, if all of this tissue is really sticky and stuck and doesn't move, then you are limiting your VO2 max because you cannot take that big breath in because there are parts of you that don't move. So if you're an athlete, one of the best things you can do to increase your VO2 max is to get more movement in your thoracic cavity and your abdominal cavity. So all of those structures in your whole body really. If you move better, you will have every part of you moves better, you will have more VO2 max, because when you use more of you, so like the muscles in your feet, every muscle, there is more of you to draw that oxygen into. So that measurement I now see as not total, it's not complete, it's just a partial way of looking at something. But really, if we wanted to totally see how good you were at delivering oxygen to all your tissue, then we'd have to have receptors in every tissue to see if those bits of tissue are getting oxygen. And if there are parts of you that aren't moving because they're really stiff, then they're not going to be getting oxygen. So VO2 max is not now, in my thinking, a complete way of measuring how somebody's biology is functioning. It's a bit nerdy. Anyway, I'm going to have a sip of my cup of tea. It's tea. It's coffee and tea. It's too late in the afternoon. I mean, it's coffee. It's not... It's tea and move, not coffee and move. Today... Alright, I hope you have had a lot of lymph flow through your system today. I hope you've had a lot of fresh water through your system today. I hope you've had a lot of blood flowing through your system today. And all of those flows of beautiful liquid through your body are completely helped and made better by your movement. And not by just you getting up and moving over there, but by the movement of every part of you. So make sure that you have moved every part of you today, your fingers, your toes, your intercostals, your facial muscles, your pelvic floor. Has all of you moved today? I hope so. I will